There's a certain kind of song that does this to you. It comes on by accident, in a store, in someone else's car, and before you've even placed it, something in your chest leans toward a time you can't quite name. Not a place, exactly. A season of your life. A version of things when the days still seem to fit. And for a second, you'd give almost anything to go back. You're not the only one. Right now, all over the world, people are sitting in dark theaters watching a 3,000-year-old story about a man who spends 10 years trying to do exactly that. Get home. I want to talk about that ache tonight. The pull toward a life that's already gone. Not to fix it, just to understand it. Because it turns out this feeling is one of the oldest things a human being can carry, and the oldest story we have already knew something about it that most of us were never told. Let's be honest about what the feeling actually is, because it's slipperier than it looks. It's usually not a house. You might picture one. A kitchen, a street, a room with a particular light. But if you could actually stand in that room today, it wouldn't give you back what you're missing. Because the thing you miss isn't the room. It's the you who lived in it. The version of you who wasn't tired yet, who hadn't learned the things you've since had to learn. I catch myself doing this more than I'd like to admit. A photo comes up, or a smell, and I'm not homesick for a place. I'm homesick for a person I used to be, in a year that's already closed. The Greeks had a word for the journey home, Nostos. And when a Swiss doctor, back in the 1600s, needed a name for the sickness he kept seeing in soldiers wasting away far from home, he took that word and added the Greek word for pain, algos. Nostos plus algos, nostalgia. The literal meaning of the word is the pain of the journey home. So if it aches, that isn't a flaw in you. That's the word doing exactly what it was built to do. Which brings us back to the man everyone's watching. We remember the Odyssey for the monsters, the one-eyed giant, the witch, the sea that won't let him land. But strip all of that away, and the whole thing runs on a single quiet engine underneath the spectacle. He just wants to go home. 10 years at war, 10 more lost on the water, and the entire time, one small island held in his mind, Ithaca. Here's the part the story knows, and doesn't rush to tell you. When he finally gets there, after 20 years, home has moved on without him. His house is full of strangers who assume he's dead. His son was a baby when he left. Now he's a grown man he has to introduce himself to. And Odysseus himself has changed so much that when he walks back through his own gate in disguise, not one single person recognizes him. Except one, an old dog, lying forgotten on a heap by the door, a hound he had raised as a puppy and never got the chance to take hunting. The dog lifts his head, knows him in an instant, wags his tail once, and then dies. The first thing to truly welcome Odysseus home is something already on its way out of the world. That is not a story about a happy arrival. It's a story about what time does while you're gone. He came back to the coordinates. He could not come back to the moment. And I think somewhere in us, we all know the difference. Because that's the thing nobody quite says out loud about the life you miss. You can't return to it, but not because you failed to hold on tightly enough. You can't return to it because it isn't a place you left. It's a moment that closed. The home didn't stay still, waiting for you, and neither did you. Both of you kept moving. That's not a mistake anyone made. That's just what time is. You've probably felt this without having a name for it. Think about the last time you went back to somewhere that used to be yours. An old neighborhood, a school, a town you grew up in. And it was smaller than you remembered, quieter. The light was the same, but nobody there knew you anymore. If you went to move back into the old feeling, you came away a little hollow. But if you went just to stand in it for a minute and let it be gone, that's a different visit. Same street. A completely different thing happening inside you. A writer named Svetlana Boym spent an entire book on that difference, and she split the feeling in two. One kind of nostalgia, she said, wants to rebuild the lost home, to reconstruct it brick by brick and move back in, as if the years could be quietly undone. She called that one restorative, and it's the version that keeps people stuck, because it's reaching for something that can't exist. You cannot move back into a moment. The other kind doesn't try to rebuild anything. It just stays with the longing itself, lets it be tender, lets the time have actually happened. She called that one reflective. And the quiet space between those two is the whole difference between a person who's haunted by the past and a person who can carry it. Now, the Stoics, who thought harder than almost anyone about how to keep your peace, argued about this exact man. And I'll be honest with you, they didn't all land where you'd expect. Epictetus, who was tough even by Stoic standards, actually had a problem with Odysseus. There's a moment in his lectures where he brings him up. Odysseus, sitting on a rock by the sea, weeping for his wife and his home. And Epictetus more or less says, if he really sat there and cried, then he was miserable. And a person at peace doesn't hand that peace away to something they can't control. Home, to Epictetus, was outside your control. Longing for it was a kind of slow leak. I don't fully agree with him. That's a cold way to treat one of the most human feelings there is. And I wouldn't want to live in a mind that had trained the ache all the way out. Seneca, another Stoic, was gentler about it. But even Epictetus is pointing at something I don't want us to miss. The danger was never the memory. The danger is when the longing quietly starts running the whole show. When every ordinary present day gets measured against one golden day that's gone and comes up short. That's the moment nostalgia stops being a memory and becomes a room you can't leave. Feeling the ache is fine. Moving into it is the trap. So, what do you actually do with it? Where is the wanting supposed to go? There's a poem I keep coming back to. A poet named Cavaphe wrote it almost as a letter to Odysseus before the whole voyage had even begun. It's called Ithaca, the island, the home he's trying to reach. And instead of telling him to hurry back, the poem tells him the opposite. Keep Ithaca in your mind, yes. Let it be the thing you're heading toward. But don't rush the road. Let it take years. And then comes the line that quietly rearranges everything. When you finally reach the island, the poem says, you may find her poor, smaller than the picture you'd been carrying, but Ithaca will not have fooled you, because Ithaca gave you the journey. Without her, you would never have set out at all. Sit with that for a second, because it's doing something gentle and enormous. It's saying the home you're aching for has already done its real job. It isn't that you have to get back to it. It's that it gave you a direction. It got you moving. It pointed you at what mattered to you. And you've been carrying that the whole time, without ever noticing. The value was never in arriving. It was in what the wanting made you reach for. So, here's where I'd leave you tonight. The next time that ache shows up, the song, the old street, the version of you who wasn't tired yet, you don't actually have to do anything about it. You don't have to book a flight backward, and you don't have to scold yourself for feeling it. You can just let it be two things at once. It's proof that you once had something that felt like home. And it's a compass, still quietly pointing at what you truly value. And if you do want to do something with it, don't try to get the whole era back. That's the restorative trap, and it never pays out. Instead, tonight, name one thing, one specific thing that made that time feel like home. Not the whole year. One thread, someone who really saw you. A rhythm your days used to have, a place, or a table, where you knew you belonged. Just one. Because that one thing is the direction. And you can start building a new, smaller version of it now, in the life you actually have, in the present, where things are still allowed to change. You're not trying to sail back to an island. You're carrying the island forward. The Greeks were right that the longing has a name, but it was never really a wound. It was the map.